Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the TVP 5051. This is a Tier 10 Czechoslovakian autoloading medium tank, and it is one of the most dangerous tanks in the game. Now, unironically, the Bosch Ation 25-ton with the 4-shell is very, very close to the TVP's capabilities. This gun does like 1,070 damage in a clip, and with shell reload boost, it deals the damage even faster than the TVP can. So there are some really, really good strengths with the 4-shot Batchat. You have way more mobility, you have definitely better accuracy, and the best part of this tank is that it's a light tank, so you have crazy view range, you have crazy camo values. The TVP takes a different approach. It's a medium tank, and it does actually have some medium capabilities. For example, it has 8 degrees of gun depression, which means you can work a ridgeline, and you don't really have to worry about, fully getting penned, because the turret has some troll spots, especially on the gun mantlet. Not only that, but the TVP is still very fast, reaching a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour, and it is still the king of clipping potential for the mediums class. I guess you could say the Caro has more, but I'm not sure if we're counting the reserve shell. The TVP has no reserve shell, and it only has a 1.88 second intraclip, and it's able to deal 1,240 damage in that short clipping time. So, when you add all these things together, you've got a super mobile medium, 8 degrees of gun depression, 1,240 damage in a clip, and all of that is really what allows this tank to be super scary. Now, that's not to say the TVP doesn't have downsides. It has a really long clip reload, and especially being in the mediums category, it means that you're fighting tanks currently like the E50M, M48 Patent, T22 medium, and those types of vehicles are very, very dangerous because they have that speed, they have that DPM, and the ability to, catch you. So even if you get that clip out, an E50M or a Patent puts on reactive armor, your 1,200 potential goes down to like 800, and, now you're not really doing that much, and in return, you're just getting murdered. So there are definitely things to keep in mind when using any tank, but the TVP definitely, it has super dangerous output, but it also has, anything coming after it is dangerous as well. It has very little armor on the sides. It's a super easy high explosive pen, so that's something else you always got to keep in mind. Now, what we're going to do in the beginning of this battle is we're going to use our good top speed, and we're going to maneuver right into this bush to see, just like that, if anybody tries crossing. There's 2 shells, 3 shells, and let's see if we can get a 4th. No. Unfortunately, we were not able to get the 4th, but we still ended up dealing 900 damage. And it is a great example of the TVP's clipping potential, right? I mean, just how quickly we were able to rip out that damage. Unfortunately, now we have to reload, and we reload for a while. As I said, this tank is a super, super long clip reload, so that is something to always keep in mind. There's 1 into the Luis, 2 into the Luis, 3. Oh, we didn't get the 3rd out. I don't think that player's going to back up. No. Oh, there you go. They did poke it. And we get our 4th. Okay, not bad. I mean, we just brought a full health medium down to 557 health. That's crazy when you think about it. And we didn't bleed anything in return either. So in 10 more seconds, we'll have our shells back, and we'll be able to deal the same chunk of damage, hopefully, again. Unfortunately, our heavies are doing really bad. They're all camping. They're all pretty useless right now, which is not great. And the 7.52 is in the spot that I really wanted to work, which isn't very helpful either. We're going to move up here. And there's the Luis. I'm obviously being very careful because I don't know where the enemy Foch is, and I don't want to be caught off guard by that. What we're going to do right now is we're going to aim it on that 7.52. We get a 260, we get a 546, and we clear that player right out of the game. That's pretty good, right? I mean, we've already done 2,800. We took what was a really, really dangerous tank and deleted it out of the battle. And we're still alive, so those are all the most important things. We have our mouse tank, and I'm hoping that I can maneuver with the mouse tank to this Luis over here and the Sheridan. Is that Sheridan AFK? Ah, the Sheridan is AFK. Now, to HE pen the Sheridan, we'd have to hit him in between this track spacing here, which we kind of did. We did like 1,000 damage to his tank. So, unfortunately, only 2 of our HEs appeared to have penned, and the other 2 didn't. our mouse tank just shot HE at the flat side of his tank, which is never ever going to work. You can't just shoot HE at the flat side of a Sheridan. It may look like a pen, but that tank still has some really, really strong armor. But the mouse tank learned his lesson and fired standard with the next ones. Okay. Well, the Foch was last spotted at this position right here. And indeed, the Foch is still in that position. Foch just fired once. We're going to drive right behind his vehicle. We're going to get 1 shell into his tank, 2 shells into his tank, 3 shells, and 4. And we light him on fire as well for a little bit of added injury. But, I mean, again, like, this is why you do so much damage in the TVP. And it's simply because of the fact you have this stupid level of mobility. You have pretty good DPM with a 1200 damage clip. Why drive a 4005 that has to sacrifice things to deal damage when I can just drive this tank? Now, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to... Oh, well, yeah. That mouse tank did a perfect job getting in front of us, but it's fine. We still did over 4,000. We still easily won that battle, and I think you really saw why the TVP is just so dangerous. You get to the side of that Bosch, and what goes from a pretty healthy player is now just non-existent. We ended up dealing 5,000 damage in this battle. How much did we actually deal at Sheridan? I think we did about 1,000. Yeah, 1,067. So, unironically, I would have been better off just firing AP, but... oh well. Sometimes you gotta take risks. But we still did a lot this game. 1,063 to the Projet Luis. I mean, we ripped out damage. The hardest thing about the TVP is really just not getting nuked when you are dumping the damage. It's the same problem with the Marat. You have to deal this huge chunk of damage, and this tank, you're firing 4 shells, so it gives the enemy opportunity to turn and possibly shoot you back. But that game, nobody was really able to shoot us back. We were able to get behind the Foch, so not too much of an issue there. Alright, well, this battle, we're going to move up and see what we can do. We have the Sheridan, we have the Leopard. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to move into this bush here. Oh, there you go. We have the M48 Patton. I don't know if I'm spotted. Interesting. I'm not spotted. Okay. There's the enemy minnow. Alright. Well, oh, we are spotted now, though. Yep. I don't even know what directly detected us, but obviously we did get spotted. There's the enemy 113. Got a lot of enemy tanks here. Let's aim it on the side of the T-22. We got 1 pen, we got 2 pens, 3 pens, and 4. There you go. That's 1,160 damage, just like that. Think about that for a moment. That's 1,160 damage we just did in that short amount of time. But, like, how do you counter that? The real answer is you just don't. There is no counter to this tank when it's dealing that level of damage. The 113 gets spotted. We're going to put on our speed boost, and we're going to push the 113. I think that's the best play to make right now, especially because that Hovri just hit that player, and we can just maneuver right here. There's 1 shell, 2 shells, 3 shells, and there you go. Hovri clears that player. I mean, again, they were smart enough to high explosive me. I will say that. 468 high explosive into my tank, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We took 2 tanks out of the game at this point. We're going to reload again. We got 8 seconds left, and then we can potentially deal some damage to this minnow or something like that. However, with our 268 rolling on the flank, might not be able to. Let's see. There's 1 shell. Oh, didn't get that one out. Was hoping we would, but obviously we didn't. Not able to get that shell either. All right, let's just put on our reload. We got 20 seconds left, and I'm hoping that we can get that 4005. We can see every other player. The only tank that we don't... oh, never mind. The 4005 spotted as well. I was really hoping the 4005 was in that back corner at full health, but nah, they're cooked. They have 28 health. Okay. Well, Sheridan's probably going to get that kill anyway. Yep, indeed, our spawn camping Sheridan does. But we still did fine. We did a decent amount of damage to the 113. We bled out the TVP a little bit, and we got 1 shell into the minnow. I don't know if we did anything crazy in terms of damage, but we still did 2,500, which isn't anything bad. And again, it's a good example of just the TVP's chillness. Like, do I consider the TVP to be overpowered still? I do consider it to be in that area of super strong and OP. I think the Bosch Shotty 25 ton is better. And it's simply because of the fact the Bat Chat just has more mobility, it has more view range, it has better camo, and it has way more DPM. The Bat Chat has 3,200 DPM with the 4 shell, and this tank has like 2,700. So When you add all the advantages together, the Batchat is definitely a better tank if you're trying to just deal damage or win games. But I do think the TVP can still have moments when it's a lot more fun. Being able to especially get behind a tank with 420 high explosive and deal a, 1680 damage clip does feel pretty crazy, and you can't do that in the bat chat. This tank does have more potential on its damage, and it does have a faster intra clip, which means that you can still rip out more damage in a shorter amount of time. So like that M48 patent there, we just did 600 damage to. If I was in the bat chat, I wouldn't have been able to get that second shell out. So realistically, I wouldn't have just been able to deal an extra chunk there. But in the long term, I still have to wait a very, very long amount of time to get these shells back, right? I got 5 more seconds left on my reload, so there is advantages and disadvantages to both. Now, in this situation here, we have the Type 71 on the flank, which I would love to be able to get a clip into. There's 1, 2, gonna load a gold shell, 3. Ah, didn't get the 4th out. Oh, great. We got a 57 heavy on my flank. Why? I don't know, but I don't want to deal with that. So let's back up. We didn't bleed too much health, to be fair. We're still pretty healthy here, but a random 57 heavy is not something you ever want to run into. Well, we got the enemy Rhino spotted in the back, and the Rhino gets shot. Let's see if we can get a shell ourselves. No, not able to just yet. This is not good. This is actually really bad. I'm gonna get out of here because there's nothing I can realistically do to fend off the enemies right there. So, especially with our E5 camping on the other side of the map. What I can do is I can try and help out my concept. So, let's see. There's the Rhino. There's 1 shell into the Rhino. 2 shells into the Rhino. 3 shells into the Rhino. And 4. That's a big dub. We just took a full health Rhino and brought it down to 400 health. And that really helps our concept because our concept still might get poobed, but I did a good job leading that player out. It's definitely going to stop that pattern and everything from poking over there, which is exactly what I want. 57 heavy is repositioned, so I don't need to worry about that as much anymore. And we still have some pretty healthy players. We have a pretty healthy Chieftain, we have a pretty healthy Houri, so it's not like our team is completely screwed at this point, but it's not looking great either. Patton just gets the clear on our teammate. Let's see what we can do here. There's the 57. Alright, well there's 1 shell into the 57, 2 shells into the 57, 3 shells into the 57. I was hoping we could get that Patton shot. Unfortunately, did not go where I wanted it to. But the Houri does get the clear. And at this point, I'm just going to back up. I am a 1 shot to every single player on the enemy team. Nice. E5 gets a shell into the E6. I'm just going to keep backing up. I think that's definitely the best play to make here. Oh, not into a wall, though, of course. But there you go. Nice. So the enemy team has 4 tanks left. They have a Badger. They have a 57, an E6. That's about it. I don't know where the... I don't want to be spotted by that E6. Hope we weren't. No. Okay, good. I don't want to run into this Badger just like out of the blue. So I got to be a little careful here because I would assume the Badger is somewhere over here. Yeah, E6 is dead. Yep, there's the Badger. Okay. There's 1 shell, 2 shells, 3 shells, and 4. There you go. 1,205 damage. We just went from 3,000, like, 3,200 damage to 4,000 something. But that's what's crazy about this tank, is when you're given that opportunity to get that full chunky clip out in the end of the game, it's just crazy. Like, I had no clue how much health that Badger was on because I was focused on the rest of the battle. But being able to take that Badger and go from 3,600 to 4,800 damage, it does feel pretty crazy. So at the end of the day, I do really like the TVP. I will always consider this to be an insanely strong vehicle. I got pretty good average damage in at 3,800, and I haven't played a crazy amount of games, but you can still see in the 3 battles I played, it's a pretty chill experience as long as you know what you're doing. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more content, make sure to click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!